Despite the fact that drug addiction causes physical and chronic changes in the brain, there is good news. The brain can be rewired back to normal. Substance abuse is, in fact, very treatable and manageable. Of course, it is not an overnight solution. It takes time for the brain to rewire back to a healthier state, just as it took time for the person's brain to rewire in favor of drug use. Addiction recovery necessitates changes in routines and thought processes. It entails substituting healthy behaviors such as exercise and cooking for drug use. It also entails reframing a person's perspective and definition of drug use. It is no longer a matter of survival, but of destruction. To get to the bottom of their drug use behaviors, education combined with cognitive therapy is required. By considering the outcomes and alternatives, the brain can be taught to crave healthier behaviors and to dismiss drug cravings over time. It is possible to teach it to seek and prioritize meaningful relationships and activities over drugs and alcohol. Abstinence, ongoing therapy, active management, cognitive reframing, and professional support can all be used to teach this. As the homelessness crisis worsened, there has been numerous attempts to regulate in Kensington encampments. Many have urged Mayor Kenny's administration to address the neighborhood's deplorable living conditions. Some people who were made homeless sought permanent housing or treatment. But the majority of the population will not leave an area where drugs were easily available. The number of people living on Kensington streets varies according to official estimates. Officials from the city's housing department estimated 300 people, while law enforcement estimated over 650 people. Housing justice advocates have pummeled the city's treatments of encampment residents in both Kensington and Center City, claiming that officials failed to provide adequate long-term housing options after closing down their living sites. Genetics, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, accounts for roughly half of a person's likelihood of developing an addiction. As a result, environmental risk factors such as stress, trauma, abuse, a lack of education, low-income neighborhoods, and high school parties play an important role. Adolescents who use drugs are more likely to develop a drug addiction behavior because their brain is still developing. Exposing the brain to drugs during this critical period can result in long-term brain changes and an increased risk of dependency later in life. According to research, nearly 70% of adolescents who tried an illicit drug before the age of 13 develop a clinical addiction within the next 7 years. Those between the ages of 18 and 25 are also at high risk as their brains mature. In fact, 9 out of 10 people who struggle with substance abuse began using before the age of 18. Science has contributed to a better understanding of how drug abuse affects people and how addiction develops over time. Researchers have been able to see how substance addiction works in the brain using imaging and other cutting-edge technology. It all starts with a long period of drug use. When a person uses drug on a regular basis, it alters the way the brain functions. Drug use becomes compulsive over time rather than recreational or voluntary. It is no longer a choice for them to use drugs. It is beyond their control. When a person uses drugs, the brain produces dopamine, a pleasure chemical. This causes a euphoric bodily response and mental state in the user, making him or her feel good or high. When the brain is exposed to this on a regular basis, it becomes reliant on the feel-good behavior. As a result, it hardwires those euphoric drug-using experiences into its circuitry, and drug use becomes its top priority. These are physical changes that will occur. The brain's reward system, a primitive system that exists to ensure we seek what we need, becomes hardwired to prioritize drug use over all other activities. Such as eating, sleeping, family, and academics. Homelessness continues to be a major issue in Philadelphia, notably on Kensington Avenue. In the city, approximately 5,700 people are considered homeless, with approximately 950 of them being unsheltered. In comparison to other parts of Philadelphia, this side of town has the highest concentration of homeless people. Homelessness is caused by a variety of factors, including poverty, inability to afford a place to live, and falling outside of the system, all of which makes meeting housing requirements more difficult. Sometimes mental illness plays a role. Many new people have become homeless as a result of the opioid crisis. Although the homeless population is spread throughout Philadelphia, including Center City, and across the country, Kensington Avenue has the highest number of homelessness. Being homeless or suffering from a mental illness is not a crime. It is also not illegal to sit, occupy, or sleep in public places. Law enforcement officials do not arrest homeless people because doing so reduces their chances of finding housing and raises the public sector's cost. Law enforcement officers are always looking for ways to help those in need of a place to live, while also protecting the rights of residents, businesses, and visitors. The COVID pandemic has also exacerbated Philadelphia's homeless population. In addition to dealing with a massive increase in the number of homeless people in Philadelphia, there has been an increase in Philadelphia. Xylazine began to gain popularity in the mid-2010s. People who use and sold drugs allege that xylazine had become a highly sought-after substance and that it has become a much more common component of the local drug supply. reports from Philadelphia, as well as hints that xylazine was appearing in other parts of the country, prompted the researchers and colleagues to try to track the drug's spread across the continental United States. Xylazine was found in 0.36% of overdose death in 2015, according to research. It increased to 6.7% by 2020. It was found in 1 out of every 5 overdose deaths in some areas. Notably, the study discovered fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid that has come to dominate regional drug supplies in nearly every xylazine-related death, indicating that it wasn't just a tranquilizer that was causing these overdoses. Experts are still trying to understand the risk of xylazine, but they are concerned that the drug, which is not an opioid but acts as a sedative, may increase the chances of fatal overdose when combined with opioids like fentanyl because it can exacerbate the respiratory depression caused by opioids. It may also make reversing overdoses with naloxone, which is designed to work on opioids, more difficult. The drug overdose crisis in the United States has been steadily worsening and is now killing more than 100,000 people per year.